My brothers and sisters, there are moments in life when you smile in front of the world, yet inside, you feel as though your heart is breaking into pieces. People may look at you and think you are strong, but only you and Allah know the storms you are facing within. Remember this: Allah knows. He knows the tears that never fall. He knows the cries you silence at night. He knows the pain you hide because you don't want to burden others. And the beauty is, He doesn't just know, He cares. When you are too tired to explain your struggles to anyone, speak to Allah. You don't need fancy words. Whisper your fears, your heartbreak, your confusion. He is closer to you than anyone else, and He will never tire of listening to you. This pain you carry is not a punishment. It is a test. And with every test, Allah promises a reward. The Prophet reminded us that no pain, no sadness, no difficulty afflicts a believer, even if it is as small as a thorn that pricks them, except that Allah wipes away sins and elevates their status. So don't think your silent struggles are wasted. Every moment you show patience, every moment you keep faith, it is being written for you in the records of Allah, and on the day of judgment, you will see the reward. Yes, sometimes it feels unbearable. But remember, with hardship comes ease. Not after hardship, but with it. Meaning, even as you struggle, there is goodness hidden in it. Perhaps it brings you closer to Allah. Perhaps it softens your heart. Perhaps it protects you from something worse. My brothers and sisters, don't lose hope. Healing will come. Allah is the turner of hearts, the comforter of souls. The same one who placed the mountain so firmly on the earth is the one who can remove the mountain of pain from your chest. Tonight, before you sleep, lift your hands and say, "O Allah, you know what I hide from people. You know my weaknesses, my pain, my fears. Grant me strength, grant me peace, and replace my sorrow with relief." And you will see, slowly but surely, Allah will open doors you never imagined. Never forget, Allah knows the pain you hide, and Allah will heal the pain you hide. When we speak about Allah's knowledge, we are speaking about something beyond imagination, beyond comprehension, beyond the limits of human understanding. Allah is not like us, who can only see what is in front of our eyes or hear what enters our ears. His knowledge is complete, perfect, eternal, and absolute. He knows the past, the present, and the future all at once. He knows what you show to the world and what you keep locked deep within your chest. He knows your strengths that people admire, and He knows your weaknesses that you are too ashamed to admit to anyone. Nothing escapes Him. Nothing is hidden from Him. Even before a thought forms in your mind, Allah already knows it. Before a tear slips from your eye, Allah already knew it would fall. Before the pain even touches your heart, Allah was aware of it. This is the greatness of His knowledge. Sometimes, we find ourselves in situations where no one seems to understand us. We try to explain our feelings, but words fall short. We look around for someone who can really see through our smile and realize how much we are hurting, yet we often feel invisible. It is in those very moments that we should remind ourselves, even if the entire world cannot see, Allah sees. Even if people cannot understand, Allah understands. Even if no one notices the storm raging inside us, Allah is fully aware of every detail of it. The Quran tells us, "And we have already created man, and we know what his soul whispers to him, and we are closer to him than his jugular vein." This is not just a verse to recite, it is a reality to live with. The whispers of your soul, the thoughts you do not even share with those closest to you, the emotions you struggle to put into words, are already known to Allah. He does not need you to speak them aloud, He does not require you to explain them. He knows you better than you know yourself. He knows the cause of your pain, even when you cannot trace it yourself. Think about how comforting this should be. How many times have you felt frustrated because people misunderstood you? How many times have you held back your tears because you thought nobody would care? How many times have you smiled while your heart was breaking, just so that others would not worry? In all those moments, Allah's perfect knowledge was surrounding you. He was witnessing every tear you held back, every sigh you swallowed, every night you turned restlessly in bed trying to make sense of your struggles. The world might not have seen you, but the Lord of the worlds saw you. Sometimes people feel forgotten, overlooked, or abandoned. They think, nobody knows what I am going through. Nobody can feel the depth of my pain. While it is true that people cannot always grasp what you carry, it is impossible for Allah to be unaware of it. He knows the smallest details. He knows how many times your heart skipped a beat out of fear. He knows how many times you forced yourself to act strong. He knows how many times you almost gave up, yet you held on just a little longer. This knowledge of Allah is not just a reminder of His greatness, but also a source of comfort and reassurance for the believer. It means you never truly suffer alone. Even if the world leaves you, Allah's awareness never leaves you. Even if you hide your pain from everyone, you cannot hide it from Him, and that is not a weakness, that is a mercy. Because when Allah knows, He also cares. When Allah knows, He also plans. When Allah knows, He also prepares relief. His knowledge is tied with His mercy, His wisdom, His power. Sometimes you may wonder why Allah, who knows all your pain, does not remove it immediately. But remember, His knowledge is complete. He knows what you do not know. He sees the bigger picture that you cannot see. Perhaps the delay in relief is actually protecting you from something worse. Perhaps your pain is shaping you into someone stronger, someone more compassionate, someone closer to Him. Perhaps your hidden tears are washing away sins you were unaware of. You may not understand the wisdom now, but the one who knows everything has placed that pain in your life for a reason. When you stand before Allah in prayer and raise your hands in dua, remind yourself that you are speaking to the one who already knows everything inside you. You do not need eloquence. You do not need to explain yourself in detail. You can cry silently, and He will hear the cry of your heart. You can whisper nothing but Ya Allah, and He already knows the rest. Imagine the peace that comes with realizing you never have to hide from Him. You never have to pretend. You never have to fear being misunderstood. This is why believers find so much relief in turning to Allah. Because while others may judge, dismiss, or fail to understand, Allah never does. He sees your pain, He knows your struggle, and He records every ounce of patience you show. And on the day of judgment, when the hidden becomes clear, you will see how every pain that Allah knew about was counted, rewarded, and turned into goodness for you. So the next time you feel invisible, remind yourself, you are never invisible to Allah. The next time you hide your tears, remember, Allah has already counted them. The next time you feel that nobody understands, remember, Allah always understands. This perfect knowledge is not just about knowing, it is about loving, protecting, guiding, and rewarding. And that should be enough to carry you through the darkest of nights. Every single one of us carries something inside that nobody else fully sees. It might be pain from the past, it might be worry about the future, or it might be a struggle in the present moment that you cannot even put into words. You may walk into a room smiling, dressed neatly, laughing with people, and appearing as though everything in your life is perfect, but deep down you know the truth. Behind that smile, there are burdens. Behind that laughter, there is fatigue. Behind that strong exterior, there is a heart that is fragile and exhausted. This is the reality of human life. Every person you meet is carrying a hidden story, a hidden test, a hidden scar. Just because you cannot see it does not mean it is not there. Some people are fighting illnesses nobody knows about. Some are battling with anxiety, depression, or loneliness that they never admit to others. Some are struggling with family conflicts, financial pressures, or personal regrets that they keep locked inside. And some are quietly carrying the pain of betrayal, rejection, or loss while pretending to be okay. Why do people hide their struggles? Often it is because they fear being judged. They worry that if they reveal their weakness, others will use it against them. Sometimes they hide their pain because they do not want to burden their loved ones. They would rather carry it alone than see others sad because of them. Sometimes they hide it because they themselves cannot make sense of it. They don't have the words to explain what they feel, so they choose silence instead. And sometimes they hide it because they feel no one will really understand. So what is the point of opening up? But the truth is, no matter how much you hide, Allah knows. You might fool the world with your smile, but you cannot fool your Creator. He is the one who created your heart. He knows the weight you carry in it. He knows the thoughts that trouble you late at night. He knows the silent battles you fight every single day. When everyone else only sees the surface, Allah sees the depths. When you realize this, you begin to see that hiding your struggles from people is not the problem. The problem is when you forget to share them with Allah. Because people may not understand, but Allah always understands. People may not care, but Allah always cares. People may not be able to help, but Allah can change everything in an instant. So when you are weighed down by the struggles you hide, turn to Him in secret. Speak to Him in the depths of the night. Tell Him what you cannot tell anyone else. Cry in front of Him when you feel you must be strong in front of others. Because there is nothing more healing than unburdening your soul to the one who already knows. It is important to also remember that your hidden struggles are not signs of weakness, but signs of being human. Allah never promised us a life free of pain or hardship. He promised us that life will be a test, And part of that test is carrying things that others may not see. With every struggle comes growth. With every hidden battle comes an opportunity for your faith to increase, for your patience to deepen, and for your heart to soften. The pain you hide may actually be the very thing that is drawing you closer to Allah, making you more humble, more sincere, more compassionate towards others. When you look around at people who appear happy and carefree, do not assume their lives are perfect. Everyone is fighting something you do not see. The man who seems successful may be battling loneliness. The woman who looks confident may be struggling with self-doubt. The family that looks united in public may be falling apart behind closed doors. This should teach us to be kind, gentle, and understanding with others, because a kind word may heal a wound we never knew existed. A smile, a helping hand, or a prayer for someone could make a difference in a struggle they are hiding from the world. And for yourself, know that hiding your struggle does not make you less valuable. It does not mean you are failing. It simply means you are dealing with life the best way you know how. But never allow the burden to crush you into hopelessness. Always remember that Allah sees it all, and with Him, no struggle is wasted. Every tear, every sigh, every sleepless night will be rewarded if you remain patient and faithful. There will come a day when Allah will replace the pain with ease, the heaviness with relief, and the hidden struggle with open joy. Just as you hide your tears today, He will surprise you with happiness tomorrow. And on the day of judgment, when everything is revealed, you will see how the hidden struggles you endured were counted, how they purified you, and how they raised your rank in ways you could never imagine. So while you continue to smile for the world, remember to cry to Allah. While you continue to carry your hidden burdens, remember to hand them over to Him. And while you continue to walk silently with your pain, remember that Allah is walking with you, aware of every step, aware of every struggle, and preparing for you relief that will make you forget the heaviness of what you once carried. The hidden struggles of today are not the end of your story. They are chapters that will lead you to strength, to faith, and ultimately, to Allah's mercy. There comes a time in every person's life when they realize that no matter how much they plan, no matter how hard they try, there are things that remain out of their control. You might do everything in your power to achieve something, but the outcome is not what you expected. You may pray, strive, and put in endless effort, yet life still takes a turn that leaves you confused and shaken. In such moments, the heart naturally looks for comfort, and there is no greater comfort than tawakkul, placing your trust in Allah. Tawakkul does not mean you sit back and do nothing. It does not mean you abandon effort or responsibility. It means you do what is within your ability, but once you have done your part, you hand the matter over to Allah completely, knowing that He knows best and that His plan is better than yours. It is to rest your heart with the certainty that whatever Allah decrees for you, it is for your ultimate good, even if you cannot see it at that moment. Trust in Allah is one of the most powerful ways to find relief when life feels heavy. People may not understand your struggles, they may not understand your pain, they may not even believe in your dreams, but when you have tawakkul, you are no longer dependent on their understanding. You know that the one who controls the universe understands you fully. You know that the one who wrote your destiny cares for you more than anyone else ever could. This realization frees you from the need for constant validation from others and anchors your heart in the safety of Allah's wisdom. Think of the times when you were certain that something was good for you, but Allah closed that door. Perhaps it hurt in the beginning, perhaps it felt unfair, but later on you realized it was protection. You realized that if Allah had given you what you wanted, it might have destroyed you. This is tawakkul in action when you stop asking why did this happen to me, and instead start saying I trust that Allah knows what I do not know. Even when you do not yet see the wisdom, tawakkul is believing it exists. There is a peace that comes with handing over your affairs to Allah. It is like carrying a heavy load on your shoulders for a long time, struggling under its weight, and then realizing you can place it in the hands of someone far stronger than you. Suddenly the burden feels lighter, not because the situation changed immediately, but because your heart changed. You are no longer carrying it alone. You are relying on the one who has power over all things. The Prophet taught us that if we truly placed our trust in Allah as we should, we would be provided for just like the birds are provided for. They leave their nests hungry in the morning and return full in the evening. The bird does not sit still and wait for food to fall into its nest. It flies, it searches, it works. But its provision is guaranteed by Allah. This is the balance of tawakkul, effort combined with trust. Many times people around you will not understand your patience, your calmness, or your confidence when everything around you seems uncertain. They might say, how can you be so sure things will work out? The answer is tawakkul. It is not that you know how it will work out, but you know who is in control, and that knowledge is enough to keep you steady. While others drown in worry, Tawakkul keeps you afloat. While others panic, Tawakkul keeps you composed. It does not mean you will never feel pain or sadness. The prophets themselves felt sorrow, they cried, they prayed with desperation. But even in their darkest moments, they held on to Tawakkul. When Prophet Ibrahim was thrown into the fire, he said, Allah is sufficient for me, and He is the best disposer of affairs. When the Prophet Muhammad and his companion Abu Bakr were hiding in the cave and their enemies were right outside, he reassured him by saying, Do not grieve, indeed Allah is with us. These words reflect the essence of Tawakkul, knowing that as long as Allah is with you, you are never truly in danger, never truly alone, never truly without hope. Life will test you with situations where the outcome is beyond your control. You may lose people you love, you may face hardships that seem unbearable, you may struggle with fears about tomorrow. Tawakkul teaches you to shift your gaze from what you cannot control to the one who controls everything. It teaches you to say, Oh Allah, I have tried my best, now I leave the rest to you. And once you truly mean it, the anxiety begins to ease, because you have acknowledged that your destiny is in the hands of the most merciful. Trusting Allah is not always easy, but it is always worth it. It requires training your heart, reminding yourself of His past favors, recalling how many times He has carried you through when you thought you would break. Each time you reflect on how He has never abandoned you, your trust in Him grows stronger. And as your trust grows, so does your peace. So when the world does not understand your struggles, when people cannot offer you the comfort you need, turn to Tawakkul. Hand your pain, your fears, your uncertainties to Allah. Believe that He sees you, He hears you, and He will never forsake you. And even if the road ahead looks unclear, know that as long as you are walking with Tawakkul, you are walking under the guidance and care of the one who knows the way better than anyone else. One of the greatest truths about this life is that it is not meant to be perfect. It is not meant to be free of pain, hardship, or struggle. Allah has made it clear in the Quran that this world is a place of tests. Every single person, no matter how righteous or sinful, no matter how rich or poor, no matter how strong or weak, will be tested in some way. Some are tested with wealth, some with poverty, some with health, some with illness, some with love, some with loneliness, some with success, some with failure. These tests are woven into the very fabric of our existence, reminding us that paradise is not here, but with Allah in the next life. When hardship strikes, our first reaction is often to ask, Why me? We feel singled out, as if life has been unfair to us, as if Allah has abandoned us. But the reality is that tests are not punishments, they are part of Allah's divine plan to purify, strengthen, and elevate us. A test is not always a sign of Allah's anger, in fact, it is often a sign of His love. The Prophet said, when Allah loves a servant, He tests them. Why? Because through the fire of hardship, the impurities of the soul are burned away, and what remains is a heart more humble, more patient, and more connected to Allah. Think of gold when it is purified. It must pass through intense heat in order to shine. Without the heat, it remains dull and mixed with impurities. In the same way, a believer must sometimes pass through the heat of trials to emerge stronger, more resilient, and more aware of their dependence on Allah. If life were only ease and comfort, we would become arrogant, forgetful, and attached to the dunya. But hardship brings us back to our knees, it reminds us of our need for Allah, and it strips away the illusion of self-sufficiency. Consider the lives of the prophets, who were the most beloved to Allah. If tests were punishments, why would they be tested the most? Prophet Ayub endured years of illness and loss, yet he remained patient and faithful. Prophet Yusuf was betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a well, sold as a slave, and unjustly imprisoned, yet he maintained his trust in Allah. Prophet Muhammad lost his parents at a young age, buried his own children with his own hands, faced rejection, mockery, and battles, yet his faith never wavered. Their stories are not just history, they are reminders that tests are a pathway to closeness with Allah, not signs of His abandonment. When pain enters your life, it is easy to fall into despair. But if you remind yourself that this is part of Allah's plan, you begin to see your trial differently. Instead of asking, Why me? You start to ask, What does Allah want me to learn from this? How can I grow from this? How can I draw closer to Him through this? This shift in perspective is what turns hardship into a means of mercy. Tests also reveal the truth of a person's faith. When life is easy, it is simple to say, I believe. But true faith is proven when the heart remains connected to Allah even in the darkest of times. Allah says in the Quran, do people think that they will be left to say, we believe, and they will not be tested? Tests separate those who believe with their tongues only from those who believe with their hearts. They expose whether our faith is shallow or deep, whether it is dependent on ease or rooted firmly in trust of Allah. Another wisdom behind trials is that they wipe away sins. Every pain you feel, every tear you shed, every difficulty you endure with patience is erasing mistakes from your record. The Prophet told us that no fatigue, no illness, no grief, no worry, not even a thorn that pricks a believer, occurs except that Allah expiates some of their sins because of it. Imagine that your hidden pain, the one nobody else knows, could be the very reason Allah forgives you and raises your rank in the hereafter. And while tests can feel unbearable in the moment, they are never permanent. No pain lasts forever. With every difficulty, Allah promises ease. Sometimes that ease comes quickly, sometimes it is delayed, and sometimes it comes in ways we do not expect. But it always comes. Even if the ease is not in this world, it will surely be in the next, where eternal joy will make every moment of hardship in this life seem small. So do not see your trials as signs of Allah's displeasure. See them as opportunities to prove your faith, to cleanse your soul, and to turn back to Him. See them as reminders that this world is temporary, and that true rest awaits in Jannah. When you accept that pain is part of the journey, you stop fighting against it with resentment and start embracing it with patience. And patience, when combined with trust in Allah, transforms the heaviest of burdens into a means of reaching the highest of stations with Him. So when you face a test, remind yourself, this is not the end of me, this is the making of me. This is not Allah abandoning me, this is Allah bringing me closer. And though the road may be difficult, the destination is worth every step. There are times in life when the heart feels so heavy that you do not know where to turn. You may be surrounded by people, yet you still feel alone. You may try to explain your struggles, but your words come out broken, and nobody truly understands the depth of your pain. In those moments, the greatest gift Allah has given us is the ability to raise our hands, lower our heads, and speak directly to Him through dua. Dua is not just a ritual or a list of requests. It is a lifeline, a conversation, and a form of worship that brings the soul closer to the one who controls everything. When you make dua, you are admitting your weakness and recognizing Allah's power. You are saying, "Oh Allah, I cannot handle this on my own, but I know you can." There is something deeply comforting in knowing that you do not need to have all the answers, because Allah already does. You do not need to fix everything yourself, because Allah is in control of what you cannot control. Dua shifts the burden from your limited shoulders to the limitless mercy of Allah. People often think that dua must be formal or eloquent, but in reality, dua is simply speaking from the heart. It does not matter if you stumble over your words or if your sentences are incomplete. Allah does not need perfection in your speech, He wants sincerity in your heart. Whisper your fears to Him, confess your mistakes to Him, pour out your sadness to Him, even if all you can say is, "Ya Allah, help me." Sometimes a single sincere cry from the heart is more powerful than 1,000 beautifully worded prayers. What makes dua so powerful is that you are speaking directly to the Creator of the heavens and the earth, the one who knows you better than you know yourself. Before the words even leave your lips, He knows what you want to say. Before you even raise your hands, He knows what your heart desires. Yet He loves that you turn to Him, because every time you make dua, you are acknowledging His greatness and reaffirming your reliance on Him. The Prophet said, dua is worship. It is not just asking for something, it is an act of devotion, a declaration of your faith in Allah's mercy and power. There are moments in life when dua brings peace even before the situation changes. You may still be in pain, but after making dua, your heart feels lighter. You may still be waiting for relief, but after making dua, your soul feels calmer. This is one of the hidden blessings of dua. It gives peace even while the problem remains. It is like placing your worries into safe hands, and no longer having to carry them alone. Some people lose hope because they feel their duas are not being answered. They say, "I have been praying for so long, but nothing has changed." What they forget is that every dua is answered, but not always in the way we expect. Sometimes Allah gives us exactly what we ask for, sometimes He delays it for a time that is better, sometimes He replaces it with something greater, and sometimes He uses that dua to protect us from harm we never knew was coming. And in every case, He rewards us for the act of making dua itself. The Prophet said that Allah is shy to turn away the hands of His servant empty when they are raised to Him. Even if you do not see the answer right away, the reward and mercy are already being written for you. Think about the prophets who made dua with patience and persistence. Prophet Zechariah prayed for years for a child, and only in his old age did Allah grant him Yahya. Prophet Yunus called out to Allah from the darkness of the whale's belly, saying, "There is no God but you, glory be to you, indeed I was of the wrongdoers," and Allah responded by rescuing him. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad made dua for guidance, for protection, for forgiveness, and he taught his companions that dua is the weapon of the believer. These stories remind us that no dua is wasted, no matter how long it takes, and no voice is too small to be heard by Allah. When you feel the world cannot solve your problems, do not despair. The one who created the world is listening to you. You may feel powerless, but your dua connects you to the one who is all-powerful. You may feel invisible, but your dua reminds you that Allah sees you. You may feel voiceless, but your dua proves that your voice matters to the one who never tires of hearing it. So never stop making dua. Make dua in the morning before the day begins, make dua at night before you sleep, make dua when you are at your lowest, and make dua when you are at your happiest. Speak to Allah in private moments, cry to Him when no one else is around, and let your heart find comfort in His presence. The world may never know the full story of your struggles, but Allah knows, and dua is the bridge between your hidden pain and His infinite mercy. Hold on to dua as your weapon, your shield, your light, and your hope. Even if nothing changes immediately, your dua is never wasted. Every whisper you make is being recorded, every tear you shed is being seen, and every call you utter is reaching the one who answers all calls. And one day, in this world or the next, you will see how your duas were answered in the most perfect way, and you will thank Allah for every moment you lifted your hands and whispered your pain to Him. Life has a way of testing us in ways we never imagined. Sometimes it is through pain that lingers for years, sometimes it is through sudden losses that shake us to our core, and sometimes it is through daily struggles that slowly drain our strength. In all of these moments, the quality that Allah asks of us again and again is patience. Patience is not just about waiting, it is about enduring with faith, holding yourself together without falling into despair, and continuing to trust Allah even when you do not see the wisdom behind what you are going through. Patience is one of the hardest things to practice because it goes against our human nature. We want instant relief, immediate answers, quick solutions. When things do not change as fast as we want, frustration grows, and the whispers of hopelessness creep in. Yet patience teaches us to slow down, to resist despair, and to remember that Allah's timing is always perfect. The delay is not a denial, and the hardship is not a sign of abandonment. Patience is the bridge between the struggle you endure today and the reward you will receive tomorrow. Allah tells us in the Quran, indeed, the patient will be given their reward without measure. Think about that, without measure. We live in a world where everything has a calculation, every effort has a defined result. But when it comes to patience, Allah has left the reward open and limitless. Every hidden struggle, every tear shed in silence, every moment you held yourself back from complaining or giving up, is being recorded for a reward so great that only Allah knows its extent. Patience does not mean you feel no pain. It does not mean you smile through everything and pretend it does not hurt. Even the prophets cried, grieved, and felt sorrow. Prophet Yaqub wept until he lost his eyesight over the loss of his son Yusuf, yet he remained patient and hopeful. Patience means that even though your heart aches, you do not lose your connection with Allah. You continue to pray, you continue to trust, you continue to remind yourself that this pain has a purpose and an end. When you endure with patience, you are not only protecting your heart from despair, you are also growing stronger in ways you may not see immediately. Trials that once felt unbearable become lighter over time. Pain that once seemed overwhelming becomes a teacher. Patience transforms wounds into wisdom, tears into prayers, and struggles into stepping stones toward closeness with Allah. Every hidden difficulty you bear with patience is shaping you into someone who can withstand more, love deeper, and walk closer to your Creator. The world may never know how much you suffer in silence. People may see your calmness, but not your internal battles. They may see your strength, but not your hidden scars. But Allah sees everything, and He is the one who will reward you for every ounce of patience you show. Sometimes that reward comes in this life in the form of unexpected relief, peace, or blessings. And sometimes the full reward is reserved for the hereafter, where every pain you carried will be compensated in ways beyond your imagination. On the day of judgment, those who endured the hardest struggles with patience will be among the most honored. Their pain will be transformed into light, their tears into rivers of reward, their patience into ranks of closeness to Allah. Imagine standing before Allah, seeing your book of deeds, and realizing that the quiet pain you endured in this world without complaint has elevated you higher than years of ease ever could. This is the beauty of patience. It is not wasted, not forgotten, not overlooked. Patience also protects you from bitterness. When hardships come, you can either let them break you into despair, or you can let them refine you into someone stronger. Patience helps you choose the second path. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" patience teaches you to say, "I trust that Allah has a plan." Instead of complaining endlessly, patience allows you to channel your energy into prayer and reflection. Instead of letting pain close your heart, patience helps you keep it open, soft, and hopeful. And patience is not only for the big trials. It is also for the small, everyday struggles: holding your tongue when you are angry, controlling your desires when tempted, waking up for prayer when you feel tired, continuing to do good even when no one appreciates it. Each small act of patience builds into a mountain of reward. Nothing is too small for Allah to notice. So the next time you feel weighed down by a hidden struggle, remind yourself that your patience is not in vain. It is being written down, it is being counted, and it is being transformed into a reward without limit. Tell yourself that the pain you endure today is not wasted. It is an investment in your future, both in this world and in the hereafter. The tears you cry alone are being collected by Allah, and one day they will be returned to you in the form of joy so overwhelming that you will forget you ever cried. Hold on to patience not because it is easy, but because it is worth it. Hold on to patience because Allah loves the patient, and what greater honor is there than to be loved by Him? Every hidden struggle you endure with patience is a testimony of your faith, a sign of your resilience, and a step closer to the eternal peace that awaits in Jannah. There are moments in life when loneliness feels overwhelming. You can be surrounded by people, yet feel unseen, unheard, and misunderstood. You may try to express your pain, but words fail, or you may choose silence because you believe no one will truly understand. In those moments, it is easy to feel abandoned, as though you are carrying your burdens entirely on your own. But the reality is that Allah is closer to you than anyone else could ever be. His mercy surrounds you, His knowledge encompasses you, and His nearness is constant, even when you forget it. Allah says in the Quran, "We are closer to Him than His jugular vein." This verse is a profound reminder that Allah is not distant. He is not a distant ruler watching from afar, but rather the one who is nearer to you than your own life source. Your jugular vein is what keeps you alive, and Allah is even closer than that. He knows your thoughts before you think them, your feelings before you can name them, your struggles before you can explain them. You do not need to search for Him in faraway places. He is with you wherever you are. When you feel invisible to the world, remember that you are never invisible to Allah. When your heart trembles with fear or sadness, Allah already knows the exact weight you carry. He is aware of the nights you cannot sleep, the moments you hold back tears, and the times you force a smile while hiding your pain. And the most comforting truth is that Allah does not just know, He cares. His mercy is vast, greater than anything we can imagine. The Prophet told us that Allah's mercy is divided into 100 parts. Only one part of it was sent to this world, and through that one part, every act of kindness we see between a mother and child, between humans and animals exists. The other 99 parts of Allah's mercy are reserved for the day of judgment. If even 1% of His mercy fills this world with compassion, can you imagine the vastness of the mercy He has kept for His servants? Because Allah is so near, you never need to struggle to reach Him. You do not need an appointment, you do not need an introduction, you do not need to wait in line. You can call upon Him in any place at any time, in any language. He hears the loudest cry and the softest whisper. He even hears the dua you do not say out loud, but only form in your heart. People may turn away when you complain too much, but Allah never tires of your calls. In fact, He loves it when you turn to Him, when you keep asking, when you pour your heart out. Every word you say to Him, every tear you shed before Him, every sigh you release in His presence is honored, heard, and responded to in the way that is best for you. Sometimes you may wonder why, if Allah is so near, He allows you to continue feeling pain. But His nearness does not mean He will remove every hardship immediately. His nearness means that even in the hardship, you are not abandoned. He gives you strength you did not know you had. He sends you comfort in ways you may not recognize at first. He protects you from breaking completely. His nearness is not about removing the storm, but about guiding you safely through it. Just like a parent may let a child struggle a little in order to grow, Allah allows us to face trials so that our hearts can mature, our faith can deepen, and our reliance on Him can strengthen. There is also something incredibly healing in remembering that Allah's mercy is greater than our mistakes. Sometimes our own sins weigh us down. We feel unworthy of turning back to Allah, ashamed of what we have done, afraid of being rejected. But Allah's mercy is far greater than our sins. He says in the Quran, "Do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins." This verse alone is enough to heal a broken heart. No matter how far you think you have fallen, Allah's mercy can reach you. No matter how many times you have erred, Allah's nearness allows you to call on Him again. He is never too far, and you are never too lost. When you carry this awareness in your heart, you begin to face life differently. You no longer feel completely alone in your pain. You no longer feel crushed by your burdens, because you know there is one who is carrying you through them. You no longer feel hopeless in your mistakes, because you know His mercy is always open. Even when people fail you, Allah does not fail you. Even when others leave, Allah remains. Even when your own heart feels weak, His strength surrounds you. So the next time you feel like nobody understands, turn to Allah and remind yourself that He already does. The next time you feel like your pain is too deep to explain, remember that Allah has already seen it. The next time you feel like you are standing alone, remind yourself that you are walking with the one who promised, "I am near." Let this awareness bring you peace, soften your heart, and strengthen your patience. Allah's mercy is greater than your sins, and His nearness is greater than your loneliness. And with that knowledge, you can endure anything this world places in your path, knowing that you are never truly alone and that His mercy is always with you. One of the most beautiful truths that Allah reminds us of in the Quran is that with every hardship comes ease. Not after hardship, not separate from it, but with it. It means that even in the middle of your pain, relief is already on its way. It means that no matter how heavy your burden feels, it will not last forever. It means that your darkest nights will eventually give way to the light of dawn. This promise from Allah is not just words to comfort us. It is a reality we see again and again in life if we only take the time to reflect. There is no difficulty that stays forever. Wounds heal, storms pass, hearts mend, and broken souls find strength again. When you look back at the trials you once thought would break you, you realize that you are still standing. You realize that the pain that once consumed you has softened, that the grief that once felt unbearable has lightened, and that the situations you thought you could never survive became part of your growth. This is how Allah works. He allows the hardship to touch you, but He also brings you through it. He allows the night to fall, but He also creates the sunrise. Hope is a gift that Allah plants in the heart of the believer. It is the ability to look beyond the present suffering and believe that tomorrow can be better. It is the conviction that no door remains closed forever, no wound remains open forever, and no heart remains broken forever. Even when everything around you suggests despair, hope whispers that Allah's mercy is greater than your pain, and that His plan is better than your fear. Healing is part of this divine process. Sometimes it happens quickly, like a sudden breakthrough that changes your life. Other times it is gradual, like a slow unfolding of relief that you barely notice until one day you realize the weight has lifted. Healing does not always mean the situation changes exactly the way you want it. Sometimes it means Allah changes your perspective, your strength, your patience until the situation no longer controls your heart. What once made you weak may later become a source of wisdom. What once broke you may later be the reason you are stronger than ever. The promise of ease after hardship is not only about this world, but also about the hereafter. For the believer, no pain is wasted. Every tear shed in patience, every difficulty endured with faith, every moment of struggle that draws you closer to Allah will be rewarded. Imagine arriving in the hereafter and seeing that every moment of pain you endured has been transformed into blessings beyond measure. Imagine being welcomed into Jannah, where no grief, no sorrow, no sickness, and no loss will ever touch you again. In that moment, you will look back at every hardship and say, "Alhamdulillah, it was worth it." When you are in the middle of a trial, it can feel endless. The days feel long, the nights feel heavy, and the heart struggles to hold on. But reminding yourself that nothing lasts forever is a source of strength. Just as ease never lasts forever in this life, neither does hardship. Everything in this world is temporary. The joy and the pain, the laughter and the tears all are passing phases that remind us that true permanence belongs only to the next life. Knowing this allows you to carry hope even in the hardest of times. The Quran is full of examples of how Allah brought ease after hardship. Prophet Yusuf was betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a well, sold into slavery, and imprisoned unjustly. Yet after years of struggle, Allah raised him to a position of honor and reunited him with his family. Prophet Yunus was swallowed by a whale in the depths of the sea, yet after turning to Allah in repentance, He was rescued and given a second chance. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad faced rejection, persecution, and immense loss, yet Allah granted him victory, followers, and honor. These stories are not just history. They are reminders that hardship is never the end of the story. Sometimes the ease comes in ways you do not expect. You may pray for a specific outcome, but Allah gives you something different, something better. At the time you may not see it, but later you realize that His wisdom was far greater than your own desires. This is why hope must always be tied to trust in Allah. It is not about believing that things will go exactly the way you want, but believing that whatever happens, it will be for your ultimate good. So when your heart feels heavy and your eyes fill with tears, remind yourself that Allah's help is near. Speak to Him, cry to Him, and hold on to the promise that this pain will pass. Remind yourself of the times in the past when you thought you would never find relief, yet Allah carried you through. Let those memories fuel your hope for the present. Tell yourself that just as He healed you before, He will heal you again. Just as He brought ease before, He will bring ease again. No pain lasts forever. With hardship comes ease. Allah's help is always near. These are not empty words, they are truths written by the one who created you, who loves you, and who never abandons you. Carry them in your heart, repeat them on your tongue, and let them be the light that guides you through the darkest of nights. As we reflect on these reminders, let us never forget that our struggles, our hidden pains, and our unspoken tears are all known to Allah. He is the one who sees beyond the masks we wear, the one who hears the cries that never leave our lips, and the one who understands the battles no one else can. This life was never meant to be free of trials, but it was meant to be a journey of faith, a journey where every hardship becomes an opportunity to grow closer to our Creator. We spoke about how nothing is hidden from Allah, how people may never know the burdens you carry, but Allah knows them all. We reminded ourselves of the power of trusting Him, of holding on through tests, of pouring our pain into du'as, of enduring with patience, and of seeking comfort in His mercy and nearness. And finally, we anchored our hearts in hope, knowing that no hardship lasts forever, and that with every difficulty comes ease. So let this be your takeaway. Whatever you are going through, you are not alone. Allah is with you closer than anyone else, and His plan for you is filled with wisdom and mercy. Be patient, keep trusting, and never lose hope. The pain you hide today will one day be replaced with peace, the tears you shed in secret will one day turn into smiles, and the weight you carry now will one day be lifted in ways more beautiful than you can imagine. Leave tonight with your heart firm in this promise. Allah knows, Allah cares, and Allah will never abandon you.